Good morning, everyone. It's Penelope. How are ya? Well, it's very, very hot here. We don't have AC in the house. We're kind of living as if there was no electric, apparently. I don't know, but we don't have our AC in the window yet, and it's been miserable trying to sleep. You know, you go to work, it's super hot in the weld shop. You drive home and you're trying to get all the air that you can before you come home, and then it's just a miserable sleeping situation. Constant washing and trying to keep clean and not stinky, and oh, it's been miserable. And on my fibromyalgia, it just really takes its toll. So I'm really having some bad physical problems due to this heat and not getting the proper amount of rest. So if I sound like I'm not with it, yeah, well, I'm not with it. Well, I haven't been with it for a long time. But anyway, as a prepper, there are specific things that I keep as far as empties that I am going to use later on. And I think I showed you in my water prepping video about my laundry detergent bottles, bleach bottles, and fabric softener bottles. I save back laundry water. I showed you what I keep bath water in, dishwater, you know, how I save those containers for water needs. Now I'm going to kind of show you a couple of other things that I keep and tell you about a couple of other things that I keep in order to be prepared. Now, the first thing I do is I keep these bags. This one happens to be a cat litter bag. This is my 25-pound bag of cat litter that I get, and I get it in this bag specifically because this is a great tarp material. Tarps. You don't think you're going to need them. You might. You might have to make a tent. You might need to cover something outside that you don't want rained on. Maybe, I don't know. What I am keeping them for is to cover like hay and to make wind breaks and rain breaks for my chicken coop right now. But you can tarp anything. Like I said, make a tent. But what I do is I take off the top little seam, and then I take off the bottom little seam, and then I look for the main bag seam, and it's right here. And it's where it's like doubled over. You can see from finger to finger where the bag is doubled over. And I cut right in the middle. Now, with duct tape, I can duct tape these together and make a very nice spread for a tarp. Now, there are dog food bags I keep. There are cat food bags I keep. Just specific types. And it's always this plastic. And you can see it's like a woven plastic. But it's waterproof or water resilient. I'm not sure the different determinations there. But what a great tarp this will make. So what I do is I take them apart and then I fold them very nicely and neatly, and I have them stored away in a tote, and I have masking and duct tape. But duct tape is what you need. The masking tape I use just to put it together real quickly, and then what I do is I will take the duct tape and go over it and really make sure it's good. So these bags and duct tape, awesome tarps. Okay, something else I do is I keep, now my husband one day was like, what are you doing? And what I was doing was going through all of our sock drawers. And he's like, I don't understand. I was like, well, I'm getting ready to go buy us some new socks, and I want all of the ones with holes or that are stretched out or that we're just not wearing, and I washed them, bleached them, and then put them into Ziploc bags where they are sanitary and, you know, nothing has gotten to them since I washed and dried them. So what I do is I find all of the socks like this. It has no toe. You know, my big toe has come out of it, okay? There's a big hole. Typical sock. Look, there's a hole in the heel. This one has been washed and bleached, and then I just simply fold them up and I put them in a Ziploc. I zip it up, and these are great for many different purposes. But I also did this with our wool socks. This one, I think looks a little okay, but as you can see, the top is all frayed, and, and it's just no longer a viable sock. Oh, there's a hole right there. There's a hole. So, like I said, I bleach them, I dry them, and then I put them in Ziplocs. Okay. Now, some of the things that I do use these for right now, I use them for cleaning. Um, you know, and they're disposable cleaners in my opinion. If I'm getting something that's super, super grimy, and a lot of times when I do like a yearly clean, I can put one of these on my hands and I can clean, I can rotate it and I can clean. And I have so many saved up that I can just pitch them. I don't have to wash them again. But I could. Something else that we don't think about these socks being used. In an SHTF situation, once our stockpiles are down and out of sanitary napkins, feminine hygiene products, these would come in handy. You could put those in your underpants. And, I mean, I know it doesn't sound great, but you know what? It would work. And it would help with that situation. And then you could collect those for the week, whether throw them away. But in an SHTF situation, you don't know if you're going to, have more. You could always do a really super bleach concentrated wash them by hand, clean them as well as you can, dry them, put them away for the next month. So there you go. These would make great things like that. Something else too is for any kind of first aid situation, they would be a good stopping the blood from something while you're treating or cleaning up a wound. I'm just saying, there's all kinds of things you can do with old socks. Bleach them, wash them, dry them, put them in a Ziploc, know that they're sterile or clean, or, So socks. I always keep all my old socks. Now my husband, he's like, I don't know what you're doing. But there was a time that he was cleaning one of his guns, and he's like, I really need a rag, but I don't want to use your dish rags. I went, hold one moment, please. And I went and got him 2 socks. He turned it inside out, and it was perfect. It had just the right roughness that he needed to clean his gun. And since then, he sold that gun. But anyway, something else I keep are big jars. Okay, I think this one had olives in it. So if you buy your pickles or your olives or your pepper rings in good-sized jars, these are awesome. These are awesome. Rodents and bugs cannot get into them. So you could store your flours, your grains, your sugars, even candies, crackers, whatever. I keep as many big jars as I can. Now I have lots of canning jars, and then I have a lot of other jars, but I love these big jars. I love them. A matter of fact, I have one sitting on my counter now that has all my granola bars and my work treats, and I'll just open boxes and shove them in there because it's pretty. I have a lot of jars on my counter. But big jars like this, don't ever throw them away. They are so handy because, like I said, rodents and mice can't get to them. If you have a spill in your cabinet, your liquids aren't going to get in there. Jars, that's a big saver for me. And I don't care what kind of jar, as long as it can hold something. Like I think that one's going to be for my self-rising flour. As I rotate through my stockpile of my flowers, I think my self-rising flour is going to go in there, because that's why I have that one. Okay, something else I do, and I like this, and I have a lot of these, is I drink Folgers instant coffee. I save these little containers. Now I also save the ones that I have that are the Maxwell House coffee. But the Maxwell House coffee does not have a flip top. Okay? The Maxwell House coffee does not have a flip top. Now I've always kept things like this for when I'm browning ground beef, and I'd always pour my drippings in them, and then I could close them up and throw them in my garbage can. So I still do that with my Maxwell House coffee things. But I don't do that with my Folger ones anymore. I save these for different things. Now, I realize they're plastic and, things can chew through, but, it's still a good idea. So I'm going to show you what I have. I have this one here, has sugar in it. I keep this one next to my microwave in case someone wants to put sugar in their coffee or their tea. and I have a little bit sitting there. I don't have to have my big bulk sugar thing, and it makes room on my counter. And not only that, but I also have a bunch of these lined up with different things. One has cocoa, one has the mixed drinks, the little packets of mixed drinks in it. I have one with plastic silverware, plastic ware. I also can put little snacks or treats in these, put them in my work bag, and they won't get squished like they would if they were in a baggie. So I keep these a lot. Now, when they start getting dingy and stuff, I just throw them away. Or I keep them back for when I have, something that is liquid that I want to put in my garbage can that I don't want down my sink, or, I don't just want to pour it into my garbage bag. So these are great. Now, there are other things that I save, and I didn't bring anything like that out with me, but like your onion bags or your potato bags, they're the meshy kind of things, or the apple bags, orange bags, whichever. I save all of those. And when I do my herbs, when I collect my herbs or my dry seed pods like my peas or my beans, I just simply throw them in there and I hang them in my kitchen and they dry naturally. So those are great for your herbs or your pea pods or your bean pods if you want to dry those. They're fantastic, and they will stay in those bags and they will dry. And not a whole lot of stuff will get on them. The dust and stuff might, but not as badly as if they were just sitting out. So that's how I dehydrate my herbs and my seed pods, is I put them in those potato, onion, apple, orange, whatever bags, the mesh bags. I keep those. Those are also good for scrubbers too. Like if you were to take one and cut it into strips and roll it and then put a stitch in it, you would have a scrubby. They're great for that. There's lots of empties that we take for granted, and I don't as a prepper. And those were just some of the things that I keep. And I also wanted to kind of talk today. I made a video yesterday, but I did not put it out. The guy that was building my chicken house came up here. He disrupted everything. And so what I wanted to talk about was, I know that I was on a video, or was watching a video not too long ago. I don't know if it was a live chat or if it was watching someone. And someone made the comment or asked the question, how do you do it? And it wasn't directed towards me. It was directed towards anyone that had a full-time job, was an avid couponer, kept their household, running smoothly. How do you do it? Well, I'm going to tell you how I do it. When I get up as if I'm going to a first shift job. I get up in the morning, I get up early, and I take care of business. Now, I drink instant coffee, and it takes my instant coffee water 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get hot enough to make a cup of coffee. In that 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I do chores. I do the dishes, I clean the cat box, I take the garbage out, I do a sweeping, I do a mopping, and in those 2 minute and 30-second increments, I can get a lot done. And then once my coffee's done, I can just sit down and watch some more YouTube. That's how I do it, in 2 minute and 30-second intervals. Now, of course, not all chores are going to just take 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I go down, I start a load of laundry. My coffee water might have sat there another 2 or 3 minutes. If I'm prepping, and that's something I do to keep my household running, is I take a morning and I prep up a few proteins. I take one morning, like yesterday morning, I prepped up 2 hamburgers, 2 chicken breasts. I did that. Now today when I go back in, I'm going to prep a huge salad, and I'm going to cut up a cantaloupe, and so that's in the refrigerator for the week. So that's how I do it. I do 2 minute and 30-second intervals all morning. I do my chores, and I try to do enough chores during the week like that, so that way on my days off, which are very rare, Sundays are my day off, that I don't have to do a whole lot. I can just add to those chores and then do a little bit more. Like yesterday morning, for example, this is what I got done before work. I prepped 2 hamburgers, I made 2 chicken breasts, I cleaned out the refrigerator as far as the leftovers and compiled some leftovers into what we can eat for the rest of the week. I also went upstairs and straightened up my stockpile where my cat and I have just been putting stuff up there, and she's been knocking it over. So I kind of did that. I started laundry. I did 2 loads of laundry yesterday morning. I took out the garbage. I emptied the cat litter box. I scrubbed the toilet. I swept and mopped a little bit. So I do a lot before work, but I work second shift. And when I come home at 11 o'clock at night, I do not feel like doing chores. I do not feel like cooking, but I'm okay with heating up food that I have already prepped or put a bowl of salad together or something. So that's how I do it. And just remember, there are some empties that come in handy in an SHTF situation. Free tarps. Tarps are expensive. Duct tape in these bags, excellent tarps. Y'all have a great day. Bye.